The revelations now televised. A platform for you and I. And now look with full heart and clear eyes. Now, these are just my thoughts. Truth on how I feel on these topics I reveal. Please know my toll, I always keep it real. Can't face the word if you can't face facts. For your time, just open up your mind. That's it, just live, think big, now take that. With God in me, this here was made by design. Yeah, the revelation will be televised. REVELSations.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the REVELSations Podcast. It's your boy Rev here with you today. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. If you're listening and watching on YouTube, please hit the like button, subscribe, make sure you share it with somebody. Let's get this thing going. I appreciate all the love and the feedback I'm getting on some of the topics that I'm putting out here, and I want to keep rocking. So it'll just be me again today, something that was on my mind, something that I struggle with. You guys know I love being vulnerable on this platform because I think my vulnerability helps other people along the way. And it's something that I think we all struggle with, or should struggle with, or do struggle with, if you will. And that actually is shoulds and wants. So, of course, we're going to go ahead and look up some definitions first. Before we get to it, the reason we're doing this is because I want to make sure that I and you all understand the definition of the word, not as we mean it, but as it was originally created, right? Because nothing can ever mean what it never meant. So let's make sure we have the exact definition of the word, and I will explain why I'm talking about shoulds and wants. So the definition of want is have a desire to possess or to do something. To wish for it. That, basically, everybody knows what that is. To have a desire. I desire this. I desire that. I'm hungry. I desire food. I'm lonely. I desire a mate or a spouse. I'm broke. I desire money. I desire happiness. It is a desire to have something that you don't have, something that you lack. Secondly, the definition of the word should is used to indicate obligation, duty, or correctness. Typically when criticizing someone's actions. So it is correct. This should happen. It's not happening, but I think it should be happening. And today's verse is called Mind Your Shoulds. Mind Your Shoulds. I think should is probably the most dangerous word in the English language. Should, the most dangerous word in the English language. Why do I think that? I think it's because shoulds keep us from having or oftentimes going after what we actually desire. And those desires are our wants. I'll explain. When you were a kid, little person, okay, your parents are telling you what to do and what not to do. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You have to learn. But as we grow, because of our religious beliefs, societal beliefs, whatever, we get inundated with all of this information about how life should be. And how life should be then oftentimes determines our want, because we want how life should be. So we're being programmed and conditioned on you should want this type of life. You should want that type of life. And that becomes dangerous because at some point we list our desires and we're going after a life that we say we want. But I want to ask a question that was asked to me one time. Do you want that? Whatever it is, that wife, that husband, that money, that job, that type of life. Do you want it because you want it? Or do you want it because you were told you should want it? Do you want it because of what you have searched within your heart? Or are you carrying the shoulds of parents, society, teachers, mentors, etc.? Are you carrying those shoulds into you, which makes you then desire something that you really don't? And I think, if we're being honest, a lot of us have this inner turmoil, this inner struggle with shoulds. I really want to do this if I'm being completely honest, but I know I should do that. If we're not careful, those shoulds can keep us from being happy, because if we do what we want to do and it goes against our should, then what happens is we feel guilty about doing what we want. I say I want to be married, for example, but I really don't on the inside, but I should want to be married. So I get a wife and now I'm unhappy because I'm doing not what I actually want to do, but what I was taught I should do. That's dangerous. There's a danger in the should. Go to school, get a good job so you can make a lot of money. Not everybody has that desire. Everybody doesn't want to get a job working 9 to 5. That's why we have so many entrepreneurs. But the entrepreneurs oftentimes started off in doing something that they were told that they should do. And then they end up on the hamster wheel of waking up in the morning, going to work so you can make a little money, so you can pay bills, so you can keep your house. In order to keep your house, you got to go to work, so you need to rest, so you can wake up in the morning, so you can go to work, so you can go pay your bills, so you can keep the house. So it's a hamster wheel, and people don't like this, but this is what they were told they should do. So I have built my life based on a lot of shoulds based on what my parents, good folks, my mentors, good folks, my teachers, good folks. I've actually had some really good people pouring into my life. Shouts out to all those people: uncles, aunts, parents, grandparents, teachers, mentors, people at the church, people around the way, in the hood, all of that. Thank you so much for pouring into me. But oftentimes you all poured in me these shoulds that now in my adult life, I'm battling with. If I should do this, even though I really don't want to. And if I do say I want to, I am beginning to examine if I want to because that's what Rev wants to do, or do I want to do it because I was told that I should want it, or I was told that I should do it. And I'm not the only person that struggles with this. I get text messages, phone calls, people asking me for advice, And they say, should I do this or should I do that? And then I would say, well, you should. You ought to, you should be obligated or duty, or the correct thing to do is this. Now, I'm doing that based on how I view the world. I'm doing that based on all the shoulds that were given to me. I'm doing that based on my moral code. So this is what should happen. So I'm giving people skewed advice. Yes, it could be goodness in my heart, and I'm trying to do this for their betterment, but it's based on what I think should happen or what I think the outcome should be. Now they go, take my advice, maybe not really want to do something they don't want to do, but they were told that they should do it. And shoulds are heavy. Shoulds lead to a lot of guilt because ultimately I think people are going to end up doing what they want to do anyway. So you have somebody who thinks they should be married, but don't really want to be married. They should be married because this is what they were told they should do by their religion, by their community, by their country, by all of these different things. They're saying you should be married. Okay, cool. Then they get married and they're miserable. They may go out and cheat. They may do something else because eventually they're going to live their wants. They're going to live their desires. But that should has ruined two lives. It's ruined their life. Now it's ruined the life of the person that they got married to. Not because maybe because they loved them, maybe because they wanted to, but that want was driven by shoulds. The other way around. In our society right now, people are teaching others they shouldn't get married. On the other side, they shouldn't do this. So you have a lot of people out here. I'm single. I'm independent. I can do this. Great. Fantastic. Go do it. Live your life. But if you're doing it, make sure it's something that you truly want to do. And you're not doing that because people are telling you you shouldn't be married. You shouldn't partner up. You shouldn't, I don't like to say settle down, but be with one person. So now we have people out here either selling their bodies or giving their gifts, which is part of your gift is your body, to multiple people, and they're miserable because deep down inside, they want to be with just one person. But they've been inundated with propaganda from the world saying you shouldn't be married. You shouldn't settle down. You should weigh all of your options. And maybe so. But if you're going to do that, make sure it's because you want to do it. Make sure it's because it's a desire system that you have created and it's not influenced by others. Reason is, even if you're in the same religion, the same culture, the same race, the same ethnicity, the same family, the same friend group, it doesn't matter. You're still you. And you can be in the same religion, race, ethnicity, friend group, community, and you are going to have some different desires. You're going to have some different ideas about life than the rest of your people in your community group. And you are taking what they say and you're wearing that. You're having that deep down in your heart. And now you're living a life that you think you ought to, or AKA should live, but you really don't want to. You can vibe with a lot of what they're saying, but ultimately you're doing things that you should do that you really don't want to do. So ask yourself, what are you doing that you think you should do that you really don't want to do? Now, there are some things that we have to do, right? So for those of us who don't have our own businesses, or even for those of us who do have a business, so let's say for those of us who haven't inherited enough money to sustain ourselves for the rest of our lives, we have to work. If we want to pay bills and go on vacations and eat and wear clothes and have colognes and go on dates and take care of people, we have to. And I would say, oftentimes when you have signed up for something, like signed up for marriage, signed up to be a father, signed up to be a mother, signed up to be a worker, signed up to be a brother. Well, not necessarily a brother. You can't sign up for that, but you understand what I'm saying. Whenever we get to these things that we have signed up for, we should fulfill our obligation, because not fulfilling our obligation hurts and hinders other people. Okay. But I'm going back to something that my mother told me. And this is something that I'm very sensitive about. I'll be honest. And that's this not wanting to have kids thing. My not wanting to have kids thing has brought me a lot of pleasure in life. I'm able to go and come as I please, move around, but it's brought me a lot of pain. I've had some serious heartbreak in my life from being with people who say they don't want to have a kid. Then all of a sudden they want to have a kid, and boom, they break up with me, immediately married or pregnant in the next 2 years or something like that. That's happened 3 times in my life. From, no, I'm cool, I don't want to have a kid, I don't want to have a kid. All of a sudden they do, boom, not going to knock them. But I felt a lot of pain in my heart from that. And I talked to my mother one day, just a vulnerable moment. And, I was feeling really down about it. I said, Mom, I feel bad about not wanting kids. I should have this desire, but I just don't. I mean, I got 4 brothers. Well, I got 3 brothers and a sister. Mom, you have 13 siblings. I'm a family guy. Like, I come from a family, but I don't want kids, and I can't make myself want it, even though I should. My mother said, old black woman, baby, you know how they talk to us, baby. Don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to have a kid. There's nothing wrong with wanting to live your life child-free. I understand it. You don't have to want this just because you see so many people in the world wanting this. You can live your desire because your desire isn't harming anyone else. The problem is there's a lot of people out here who don't want kids, and they do have kids. Now, they shouldn't have done that because they've now made a child and they don't want the child. You, on the other hand, meaning me, she told me, you don't want children and you haven't made children. So don't beat yourself up for not wanting something. Don't beat yourself up for thinking you should want something you don't want, so long as that thing that you don't want does not cause conflict and problems for other people's lives. So think about your shoulds. Mind your shoulds. Don't carry the burden of shoulds around. I should do this. I should do that. If whatever you're feeling like you should do is not going to harm others. Again, if you are a husband or a wife, a mother or a father, there are some shoulds that you should carry because those are the things that you signed up for. If you signed a contract for work and you don't feel like it, you should still go because you signed a contract saying, this is what I'm saying I'm going to do. And we should all keep our word, because not keeping our word ends up hurting others. It ends up hurting other people. So I'm going to let you guys go on that one. Please hit me up at revelationspodcast@gmail.com on all the social media platforms as well. That's TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, the Revelations Podcast. I enjoy doing this. I'll be with you guys again. Mind your shoulds, and I'll holler at you next time. Peace.